Gamesthetic episode 221. I'm Alex out with Sparky3. Hopefully you are having a phenomenal day, whatever day you are listening or watching the show. Boys, how we doing? Zach, how are you?
Choosing not to shout something out before the 5-minute mark.
Trying to hold it in?
Yeah, because I just had a dumb thought, and I was like, I could do that, but I went, I should wait at least till the 5-minute mark, then maybe I can loop back around to it.
All right, we'll loop back around. John, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
One of those days?
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. It's definitely one of those days for the show, I think. That's my opinion. I feel like there's going to be a lot of rambling and a lot of general conversations. We do have topic, title, thumbnail points that we will get to. I don't know if we'll get to it immediately or later. We'll see. But we appreciate you for stopping by, though. If you want to, subscribe to the channel, be a friend, tell a friend. Today, we will be touching on the Donkey Kong Bananza Direct, or I guess I will, because I doubt these two watched it or even read an article about it. So
I saw it was a thing. I'm like, cool.
I know what happened.
Well, it did come. I missed it live, so I feel you. I forgot it was a thing. I forgot it was happening. So we'll be touching on that. Digimon Story Time Stranger. A lot of good news coming out of that.
I have seen a lot of people being
buddy.
like, this is the best thing that came out of the Summer's Game Fest.
It's wild.
It's hilarious.
Digimon stocks have never been higher. I was texting Andy about this, and that's Andy's exact words to me. Is Digimon stocks have never been higher. I
That's
agree
a lie.
100%.
I was going to pose a question to you about it, but I'll wait till we get there.
All right. Let's see. We also have Marathon was delayed indefinitely, so we'll touch on that. Some Xbox news, some third-party games, a Switch 2 news, some Sega news, Borderlands 4. That's something. And then there's a bunch of other random stuff throughout the weekly wrap-up. If you want to support it further, the Patreon's a great way to do so, as well as checking out Agent Inc. and Rogue Energy that we will be shouting out later on in the show. Let me go ahead and turn things down now. Also, if you hear any squeaking, that's my dog. Yeah, my dog's in here because my husky, he's been a baby today because it's hot outside, so he's chilling in here. But yeah, overall, how you boys feeling? We're not at the 5-minute mark, so do you want to shout your thought though? I mean, I feel like it's an appropriate time at this point if you want to shout out whatever's infecting your brain at the moment. I feel like it's a good time. Or are you just gonna hit it randomly in the middle of the show?
It becomes a question: are you going to edit this VOD?
No, you know I don't do that.
Then I'm gonna leave it be.
Okay, all right, something bad then. We'll leave that alone. We will leave that alone, brother.
I was just going to mention, because like carried on from last week, you talked about it. If we were having a lengthy discussion about it, we've all been playing the altars.
Oh yeah, baby.
Because I did leave here confused of what it was about.
I did legitimately. I started playing it yesterday because the thought popped in my mind. I was like, because like no offense, and it probably came across that way when you were talking about it. I was so fucking bored because I couldn't follow what you were saying,
and I was barely following based off just seeing the screenshots.
So that I was like, I gotta try this game, and turned out it's great.
It's a great game.
It is very much an interesting game. It's probably definitely going to be a sleeper.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And it's already for me, like one of my favorite games to play this year. I mean, I've had a great time.
It's definitely been one of the better ones.
Frustrating time sometimes.
Oh,
but very frustrating.
It's pissing me off.
John, you haven't even gotten into the gravity bullshit.
No.
Act 2 is a pain in the ass.
The altars are pissing me off.
Yeah, okay, so your altars, you have a totally different thing going on.
They are so bitchy. they are so whiny for how much I'm going out of my way to do everything they want.
Yeah, dude.
We only eat good food around my station.
I mean, so do I.
Yeah.
But it was a whole argument in my game.
See, the only time I really had anyone ask was the technician was getting real angry because I wouldn't build a dorm. Not me.
Oh, you made him just keep sleeping on the floor?
Well, because the altars
dorm at first.
Because the altars, the game, not the characters, the game is not the greatest at being, hey, this has now appeared because you've had this interaction. It fully leaves you to have to figure that stuff out.
Yeah, it's not handholdy.
Oh yeah. It took me 3 days to figure out the Rapidium arc was a room.
Yeah. It took me about a week after the technician went on about the dorms for me to realize, hey, the blueprint's just here now in the middle of all your other bullshit you're trying to do.
But yeah,
because it doesn't give it a notification like, hey, you now got the dorms blueprint or anything like that. It's just all right, it's in there now if you ever go look.
Right. Right. Yeah, the game does not hold your hand, man. Like you get to the prologue where you just learn like general things
Yeah.
about how to play, and after that, it's just like
Yeah.
go,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, and from talking with you guys beforehand, it seems like your guys are not as fucking whiny as mine.
We've had some situations come up. We've
'Cause-
had some, but yours like so the for everyone listening, one thing that we're now theorizing that might be like an interesting element of like how each gameplay, each like game playthrough can change.
The replayability.
Yeah, the replayability is like one thing that John did is that he got the refiner in Act 1. Zach and I did not, and we have not had some of the issues that he's had. Now, not necessarily saying that the issues are coming from the refiner, but it's like him being there.
He's interacting with the other alters.
It's that butterfly effect. So that's an interesting element of this
because
game.
the issue here is apparently in John's playthrough, since he's got the refiner and botanist, those two are hanging out similar to how the technician and scientist do. Me and Alex never got the refiner, so our
Yeah.
botanist is a lonely boy, while the tech and scientists continue to combat each other.
Yep.
Oh yeah, tech and scientists, they hang out a lot for two people that don't seem to like each other.
Facts.
And for whatever
Facts.
reason, in my playthrough, they like to hang out in my captain's quarters because there's almost every day after I've been out in the fields mining, I'll go and they'll be hanging out in my captain's quarter bitching about something. What are you guys doing here?
You know, I've noticed that too.
So yeah, we have a goddamn lounge and kitchen. Go there.
See, I had the opposite thing where my scientist was hanging out, he's been hanging out in the womb, but my technician likes to hang out in the research lab.
Whatever.
And then if the scientist isn't just hanging out in the womb, then he's down in the dormitory, like sitting in a corner, just by himself.
I've also seen that too, where some of my alters, or like the doctor's one, where he'll just like go to one of the random storage rooms and just sit on the floor. I'm like, why are you in the storage room? It's like, I have an infirmary for you. We have the social room. Like we have two dormitories. We got the kitchen that you say how much you love to cook. Why are you just sitting on the floor in the medium storage on the left side of the base? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Because like we'll get a prompt where like he wants to talk and he'll just say medium storage. It's like, well, which one? I have like 3. Where are you at?
Yeah.
I guess I've never had that issue. All my alters, they stay in the, besides just wanting to hang out in my cabinet's quarter, they just stay in the regular rooms.
Yeah, no, they once they're done with work, man, they'll just go chill anywhere. Because like I also had it with captain's quarters too, where it's like I got a prompt from the scientist that he wanted to talk to me. I'm like, okay, where are you at? And I look, he's like, why is he in my room? It's like, why are you in the captain's quarters wanting to talk?
Well, like I said, the refiner, when I got him, he really wanted me to make him the gym. And then
Okay.
when I made him the gym, then he really wanted me to make him some dumbbells, which is just like an item that you
Yeah.
make to give to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And funny enough, the scientist spends more time in the gym than anybody else.
In those gains of muscles
Yeah,
and brain.
There you go. There
It's,
you go,
it's
brother.
like the only time the scientist and the refiner are ever around each other is when like one of them's waiting to use the gym, and then they just argue.
Now I'm curious, Alex, since if John ever makes out of Act 1, I wonder if his song's going to be different.
I'm kind of screwed right now.
If what though?
If his song's going to be different.
Oh, that's true, because the song's going to change every time. I'm curious what your song's going to be.
I don't know what that means, but I plan on beating it tonight. I'm just gonna have to backtrack a few days.
All right.
Whenever you beat Act 1, the guys decide to celebrate, and they bring up a shared memory pretty much between all of the alters.
Yeah.
About apparently they were part of a band, which leads to discussions of making a song to celebrate.
Yeah. So you end Act 1 on honestly a really good song. It's a really catchy little song that
My
I
guys
listened
are
to
very
multiple
different.
times.
My guys are at very different branching paths on the tree.
Yeah. So I'll be curious what your song's gonna
Because
be like.
because they all bring a different lyric and vibe.
Yeah. Too bad you don't have the minor there. Rip. Rip
Yeah.
his minor. His
Yeah,
minor's dead.
my miner's dead, and I did not attempt to save him.
Wow. See, that's where I'm stuck with my playthrough here at the end of Act 2, where it's just like when I created the miner finally in Act 2, because I was just like, obviously when I created him, I didn't know what was coming, you know,
Yeah.
in terms of timing of like main story, what all was going to heavily restrict me on stuff. So I was like, oh, you know what? This is finally a good time to make the miner. You know, we're in a good position across the board. I can make the miner. He'll do the whole arm thing. We'll get it taken care of. Nope. I still don't have enough fucking time. So now I'm to a point where it's like, I'm at the end of Act 2 and I'm like, I'm about to just go back to the beginning. I don't even care. Because I tried to reset it twice to save this guy and I don't have enough time either one.
See, meanwhile, I viewed it as this dude's more trouble than he's worth.
But see, apparently the payoff's good though, because once you actually do the payoff, like that dude will work crunch time hours without it being crunch time. Because like his whole mind says, I just want to work now. So he'll work like 12-hour shifts without you telling him to.
I mean, he's a minor.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, the motherfucker wouldn't work.
You gotta keep that crunch time on.
Without even crunch time, dude.
I'm surprised any of your people work, John. Because apparently, because what it sounds like, they all hate you.
Yeah, it sounds like you're running a rough ship over there, buddy.
That's what I'm saying. They complain a lot
Well,
for being pretty happy.
Yeah,
They're all actually in a good mood.
The
They
morale's
just
not
bitch.
down after losing the minor. I feel like it would be.
Surprisingly, like the scientist is the only one who cared. Really?
Really? Okay, not the technician.
The technician was like, "Shit happens."
Wow.
The scientist was more of like, "Man, I respected him. I can respect a good work ethic like that." And I'm sitting there going, "What do you mean work ethic? Dude went out to the mine, got hurt, and then sat in the base for 2 days."
Man, that's interesting that the tech didn't care for you
And then
with how mine's going.
And then the tech I had problems with for a while because he would stay out too late in the day and come back with radiation burns.
Yeah,
and then
he will
bitch
complain
and
about
moan.
that. Yeah, he will complain about the radiation quite a bit.
See, I just avoided that. I saw his ass was outside when the radiation, and I went, "What the hell you doing? Get your ass in here. Start farming. What you doing out there?"
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing, buddy? I'm glad you guys checked out the altars, man,
Yeah.
because it's been a really fun experience.
Yeah, no, it is.
It is definitely a recommended game of the year. If you have nothing playing right now, I'd say pick it up.
Yeah,
It's a nice. It's
100%.
going to be a nice little sleeper hit.
Like especially for like right now for me, this is a perfect game to play because I don't have a whole lot going on
Yeah.
necessarily. I mean, I've been playing a shitload of PoE, but
Mhm.
other than that, like I kind of pumped the brakes on that to check this game out a bit, and then I've basically all afternoon has just been the altars.
Right.
See, I've been playing it on I completely forgot Rido came out.
Yeah, it did.
And on a weird day. Came out on Wednesday.
That is a weird day. Yeah. Had some good
What's that?
reviews, though.
Oh, the remaster of Rido and the Mystery of the,
that
of the
game.
Soulless
The
Army.
Atlas game, yeah. Yeah, it came out some good reviews, too.
I mean, it's solid so far because I'm starting messing with it. It is sort of funny because I have a Devil Summoner game. I have never played it.
Mhm.
So this is technically my first time playing Devil Summoner,
Mhm.
which has been very funny
right.
for me.
Nice.
I think I know the answer to this, but did either of you guys check out Rematch?
I started to, and I wasn't in the mood.
I watched a bunch of clips and went, nope, not learning that tech.
Yeah, I started to, just learning the controls, and I wasn't in the mood because I was really frustrated at the altars, and so I was like, let me go try this now because it downloaded. I started doing it, and then I got in that mode, that determined mode. Nope, we're going back to the altars. I'm fucking determined. That's basically what happened.
I downloaded it and the altars at the same time, and I was like, I think I'm gonna check out the altars first.
Yeah,
And then now I don't see myself going to it for a while.
yeah.
See,
And if it's got a steep learning curve to it, I don't get time for that.
I don't think it does. It has a pretty high curve of mastery. I think based off the clips and whatnot, it's mostly because of what I've been viewing of clips of doing just ridiculous things.
Mhm.
So I'm fairly certain that the actual entry level is fairly low. It's just
It's like a Rocket League problem. Where
possibly.
like it's easy to get into, but once you get into it, you realize how much there is, but you kind of want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to play this game then.
because there's some because neither of you ever played Final Fantasy X, have you?
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay, because like there's a whole small subplot point in 10 where Titus, however you want to say it, is trying to learn his father's shot, and like
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yes,
I know that of it.
the jet shot, you can literally do that in Rematch if you want to.
Interesting.
You're not going to be hitting people with it, at least. At the very least, the shot I saw someone do, more or less, they bounced it off both goalposts, then hit it in. I went, all right. And they did it on purpose, too.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen anything on the game yet, but I saw a lot of hype leading into it. But but I don't know. I might not check it out.
Well, I mean, it's definitely one of the highest grossing multiplayer games because I think you put in the notes, it like cost like
It already
20 million players in the first 24 hours.
Jesus Christ.
No, I don't think that was. I don't think
Maybe
that
I got
was-
my numbers wrong.
Yeah, no, it passed. It passed a million in the first.
million,
20
yeah, sorry,
in the
my
first
bad.
24 hours.
Yeah.
No, the big number game is something completely random that I just had to shout out.
No, that's I mean, that's pretty good for especially the type of game that it is.
I mean,
yeah.
people were craving it after both the betas.
Yeah,
They were
okay.
just itching for it.
It also really helps that it's a Game Pass game too.
yeah, that it's a Game Pass game.
I mean,
and
it's super cheap too. I mean, it's only $30.
I was gonna say, I think it's like 30.
it is. It's 30, and it also helps that they're even for the people that didn't play it, like gamers of of various types, like they just know like how good Sifu is just by word of mouth or playing it. So it's like, oh, Sifu developers, I bet this game's good because I've seen a lot of conversation just around that. It's like, oh yeah, they did great
because
again.
the seafood developers have an exceptional system
Yeah, exactly.
for character movement,
Yeah, so it's
and
like
they used it for football.
exactly. So it's like even if you didn't play Sifu, you at least know like what these devs bring to the table. So that also helps it.
And the fact that it's a live service game that's actually being exceptionally well received is like
Yeah.
they're 2 for 2.
Yeah, exactly. It's no wonder Rematch is doing well. Like it's done well in review scores and player counts, and yeah, shout out to Rematch. Like I said, I started it. I was going through learning all the controls. Just the quick 5 minutes I've played of like moving around playing the controls are exceptional. But still, I went into it because I was frustrated with the altars, and I decided no, we're going back to the altars. I'm frustrated. I want to go do this.
I mean, you could go the other engine and pick up a DVD,
Pick up what?
Dead by Daylight.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't know what I did, but Dead by Daylight's gone back in my feed,
Mhm.
and apparently, from my understanding, with the Springtrap release, apparently because of the movie,
Yeah.
B Springtrap,
Yep.
and apparently it's seen a influx of new players because of that.
Oh yeah, it's blowing up right now.
And because of that, I've more or less a bunch of my old feeds have popped back up of people just being like, there's a whole new generation of FNAF people going to DBD, and it's just been a shit show
Oh, I don't know it.
for veterans and newbies.
Yeah.
Because all the veterans know all the tech, and so all these newbies are trying to learn. And a bunch of the veteran killers are just going, I don't want to kill you. Here you go, little boy. Go this way, guys.
It's like, I feel bad for killing you.
And then it
Oh.
doesn't help the veterans all learning Springtrap and his bullshit.
Right, yeah.
Because apparently Springtrap is exceptionally busted, which is slightly surprising.
It's also Matthew's model, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah, shot to that. We
But-
have Matthew Lillard, and we also have Nicolas Cage. in Dead
And
by Daylight.
apparently, because of that, there is a Springtrap apparently has special dialogue for hooking Nicolas Cage.
No shit.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's not just one line, it's several lines.
That's awesome. That's 10 of 10, man. I love that. Hey, now that we've all played the altars, and I'm curious, what would you guys give the altars on the board?
8.
Yeah, let me hold the board up for context for people.
You got it rewritten?
Yeah, the board, baby. Here we go. John, what about you? What would you give altars on the board as of now?
I think I could probably agree with Zach at 8.
I think 8's right.
Depending on how replayability and however the ending plays out, I might say 9, but as it stands, 8. The overall narrative has been interesting, the character interactions and whatnot. The actually fairly well balanced interactions between gameplay of base management, resource management, and then actual hands-on playing has actually been a very solid balance, surprisingly.
Facts. No,
Yeah.
I think 8's fair, possible 9, depending on how the game ends, because we don't know,
Yeah.
obviously.
Like for right now, it's probably a good 8. It's probably on the lower, like 7.5 for me, but that's purely because of my mistakes with the game. Because if I started over right now and started another run,
With what you know.
because I didn't do enough exploring around the area in Act 1, so it took me so long to start actually getting
Minerals.
all the like minerals and everything.
Yeah.
So I basically am like doing everything in half the time.
Yeah.
So I kind of screwed myself a bit,
Yeah.
but I think I can recover it.
There you go. There you go.
See, my worst part of Act 1 was when I ran into that field of attacking anomalies.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I panicked the hell out of that spot, and it was like watching a Scooby-Doo move of just me going.
Yeah. Me too. Me too, brother.
It's like, is that moving to me? What do you mean? Is that moving towards us?
Right.
See, I took the opposite approach. I just ran in a straight line.
Did you pass out?
No, but I was very radioactive.
Okay. I'll say this as well for the sake of the show. I told you this when I was texting you about it. If Alex Jordan doesn't at least get nominated for best performance, he gets robbed. Up front.
I stay firm in what I told you back.
What did you say? I don't remember.
I was like, while playing multiple characters is impressive, he's not a tall, buxom lady.
Relax. No, come on now, because dude, he's done such a great job with all the different alters, man. Like he should at least be nominated for best performance this year. Like at least.
I'd have to see a few more before I could judge it.
See,
the ones that I have right now, like they all speak with kind of their own attitude.
Yeah, but you can tell it's kind of the same voice.
Yeah, it's. I mean, since they are
The
an
same
alternate
person.
version of you, it makes sense. But at least with the ones that I have, there's not enough variety in it for me to be like, yeah. I mean, it's a good performance in the game, but there's points where I'm like, character's not speaking with a tone that that the words sound like they should be using right now.
So
or like that this conversation should be hitting me with.
So I do agree. Like obviously I haven't heard how the refiner talks, but like for all the others that you have, like I do agree. Like you can tell it's all the same voice or whatever, but just they're different tones in how they talk. The scientist, is more like light the way that he speaks and very refined, and you have the more like down deep voice of like the miner. But for me, what did it was the doctor, because the doctor is like a very deep, like,
didn't you say
southern,
he was Southern
yeah, it's
for
like
some
a very
reason?
deep Southern accent, and I'm just like, what are we doing, brother? Yeah, very deep Southern voice, man.
All I gotta say is a scientist better stop trying to fucking tell me how to run my ship.
I've had that happen a couple times, but with the scientist and the technician both. I've tried to say that to me. So I feel you. No, shout out to the alters, man. Very, very fun game to come out so far this year, and looking forward to finishing it. All right, let's I guess start hitting some thumbnail related things.
We don't have to.
We'll hit the thumbnail stuff. That's what it's on the thumbnail. I've got it on the thumbnail. So
Okay, you can always change the thumbnail.
I can, but I don't want to. I'm lazy.
Did you
Do what?
Did you get into that article I sent you?
Oh, I did. Yeah. I picked out the notes for it for the Digimon Story stuff. I picked out the notes for it. You want to start Digimon Story?
Yeah, we might as well.
Yeah, let's do
Oh, one
Digimon
last
Story.
thing. I did get to flash. What word am I thinking of? Rep Fat Princess this week with a video I sent
Oh
Alex.
yeah, that's true. That's true. That was hilarious.
Pretty much. One of the Sony. I don't think he ever gave his title or whatnot, but
Man, I got to be honest. Like, he's either like, it's either one of two people, and they're vastly two different people.
more or less,
It's either the founder of PlayStation or it's like the current head. It's one of the two.
more or less, it's an interview of him, and more or less saying the fastest game I greenlighted was Fat Princess, and he's just like, I walked into the pitch meeting, they were showing off and everything. I saw the character, the Fat Princess, and I went, "That's my daughter."
That's great.
And he went,
that's amazing.
And he went, "Make your game."
Make it right now. Take a blank check from me, brother. That's my daughter.
It got one game.
The fact that that's the fastest thing he's ever greenlit for that reason is absolute 10 out of 10. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, how'd you feel about Kiryu Presley?
Oh yeah, I saw that too. That was funny. All right, let's talk some Digimon Story Time Stranger. Because honestly, there is a lot of positivity around this game. I feel like the hype for Digimon as a whole right now, in my opinion, and from everything I'm seeing, the hype, it feels like it's never been higher.
People are learning that there have been Digimon games in the past decade.
True.
Because they're seeing this now and looking into it.
I was about to say, from my understanding, this is probably going to be the most played Time Stranger game.
Story game?
Story game?
Yeah. And just probably, honestly, Digimon game in general.
Probably.
Because I mean, dude, the hype around this game is so real. Like the amount of like articles that I've seen come out say Time Stranger was the best thing at Summer Game Fest. Like too many to count. Too many to count.
Here's my real question: is whenever Time Stranger does eventually come out and people play it, how many people are gonna go to the previous two Digimon story games? Then how many people are gonna play Survive thinking it's part of the same thing?
That's true. Sure, hopefully they do a little research.
Hopefully the first part where they go back to the other Digimon story games because they're fantastic.
Yeah.
I hope they don't go to Survive thinking it's the same thing because they'll bounce off that immediately.
There's no reason they should.
Yeah.
Because the only thing they have in similarity is Digimon.
Right. But it might be a thing where they look back at it and they're like, okay, what's the last Digimon game to come out?
Which was Survive.
Yep.
Arguably one of the better ones.
I mean, it still is, but it's definitely a different tone and
complete tone shift.
Gameplay,
complete tone shift, complete everything shift
from the story games.
But it's awesome.
I mean, it very is. Have you ever gone back and done your second playthrough where you didn't kill everyone?
I'm in the playthrough. I don't remember how far I am in it. But it might be something I go back to soon because.
Oh, is Digimon Talk getting you excited?
Well, it's that and that playthrough is loaded up on my PS4 right now.
Okay.
Which is in my living room, but I haven't been spending much time in there. But I'm gonna do some rearranging soon, and might hop back on. That might be what I hop back onto when I get that done.
Nice. Yeah, no, with Time Stranger and all the conversation around it, man, I really feel like the hype right now for Digimon is like, I feel like it's at a peak. Like it feels like it's a
pretty all-time high.
Like it feels like it's at the same high of when Digimon Adventure Tri was announced and coming out. Like it feels like it's at that same level.
Slightly different communities, but yeah.
Yeah, it totally different. Yeah. But
so back mentioned I had a question for you earlier.
Yep.
Speaking of like that, it's at its like peak right now. I wanted to ask you, do you think it's finally Digimon's time?
I would maybe overthrow some stuff.
Do you think it's finally time? Not even necessarily overthrow, but like for the Digimon games to like break into
like mainstream,
kind of the mainstream.
You know, honestly, yes. With how Time Stranger looks, all the improvements they've made, and again, all of the conversation that's around it, right? Like this conversation wasn't around for Survive.
No.
The conversation was for Survive is what is Survive?
Does it exist?
Is this a thing?
It was basically me and you for like 3 years going, they say it's coming still.
Yeah, so like this conversation around Time Stranger, everyone that's gotten a chance to play it at like Summer Game Fest and just all the interviews and all the conversation, the continuous trailer drops and everything, like I'm seeing like it all of that just further helps with the domino effect of just like I've seen like big gaming content creators that I follow, they're talking about it. Like let's say like Mighty Keith, for example, where it's like he's just like, man, Time Stranger just looks so good. It's like I want to go replay the 2 cyber games now, the story cyber games. It's like just that extra set of eyes that more content creators are going to help put on the game. That's going to help further domino the game. So it's like I really feel like Time Stranger can really be that one to help push it into the mainstream because the conversation around it's so positive. It's unreal how positive this is.
Question.
So I think so.
Does Time Stranger actually have a release date?
Yeah. October 3rd. We got it during was it PlayStation? Yeah, it's PlayStation.
Yeah, it was PlayStation.
It was State of Play. State of Play. It was 10-3.
Okay, then that's my other thing was, I mean, yes, it definitely is a game that can bring Digimon into the spotlight. My only concern was, is it releasing with anything big around the same time?
Yes, Ghost of Yatai the day before.
I don't
I
really
would-
see that hurting it though.
I
but
agree,
the-
but
the-
it is a big thing around.
I mean,
it
it is a big thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's only going to hurt it on really pretty much on one console.
yeah. It's two different audiences.
I was gonna say it is that two different audiences as well. Plus, Ghost of Yotai will only be on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Whereas this is gonna be on
Everything.
literally everything.
Yep. Yep.
So it's got a pretty good chance, John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel? No.
I'm so happy for it right now. It was already looking good. Like we were already extremely excited for it.
Right.
But then seeing all the positivity around it, it's wild because me and you've been getting hyped up about we were getting hyped up for like Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth when it was coming out, and like we're used to nobody giving a shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like when the Time Stranger, I sent it to you before that reveal happened. It got leaked with GameStop, I think. It's just like when I sent you that, I did not even imagine that there would be this much conversation. I fully believed it would be, oh, there's a new Digimon game, and that would have been it. And it would have just been me and you pumped about it, the Digimon community pumped about it. But now I'm seeing like the gaming community pumped about it. So it is really weird. It's nice, but it's weird because I'm not used to this. But welcome everyone. Welcome because these games are great. The Digimon games are a lot of fun for the most part. And the story games, from the two that was on the PS Vita to the PS4, even the ones back on the DS and stuff, good games. This game's gonna be great. The story is gonna be great. The Olympus 12 is really cool. This game's gonna be great. I cannot wait. Cannot wait for it to get shifted into the mainstream. Because like the interview that you sent me, there was three things that I took out of it because it wasn't a super long interview, but there was three things I took out of it that I thought was interesting. One is that it should be Steam Deck compatible, which is great because Digimon story games and Digimon games in general has such a long history with handhelds. DNA Digivolving will be in it, which I assumed that would be the case, but I'm glad that's confirmed in the interview. And then the game length, the story should only be about 40 hours. Subquest and Digimon training will add about another 10. But to 100% the game, like get every Digimon, whatever, he up front said, yeah, we don't even know.
Yeah.
We don't know how long it's going to be.
Because that's one where it's like when they say like 10 hours for like sub stories and training Digimon, it's like, oh, you're assuming we're not playing it to get what we want.
Right.
It's like because it like even in the other game like Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. I mean, I spent well over 15 hours in like just grinding in certain zones, level it up, de-leveling over and over again to raise the base stats of everything up to get certain like Digimon.
Right. Yep.
It's like you'll spend dozens of hours doing that in this game. Because and it's like I spent 15, 20 hours just doing that. And before, like, I don't even know if I had everything in the old games. And this game's going to have like 200 more, which is also fucking wild.
Yeah. Which we did get some more Digimon kind of shown throughout the week, whether it's like the single slides or whatever the case is, and it's nothing overall that really jumps out. I mean, there's some that need to be here. I mean, like Coronamon and like Lunamon and Junomon, like they're all like intertwined with the Olympus 12. I'm pretty sure Lunamon and Coronamon like they are the Olympus 12. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, because that evolves into Dianamon and Apollomons. I mean, that's literally part of the
I was also gonna say
Skull Seedramon's cool though. That was cool to see.
I don't remember if it was mentioned in any of the trailers we saw before, but in that interview as well, they did say that a large focus of this game is like the Olympic 12.
Yep, they did. Which that was in the interview that you sent me, because I was just talking about the story they're going for, the more serious story, and really focusing on they said it's like we wanted to do a story on the Olympus 12 for a while. So it's like glad to see we're getting it. I'm excited to see how the story plays out, because the story itself, like the narrative of all these games, have always been really, really solid. Like for the two story games that we had on the PS Vita to the PS4, those are really interesting because you play Hacker's Memory and the whole thing is taking place at the exact same time as Cyber Sleuth. So it's just like an interesting dynamic there. So I don't know. Like I said, it's really weird to see Digimon being at the Digimon game being at the hype level that it is. It's like you just wouldn't. It's not Pokemon. You know, it's not, it doesn't generate the same level of hype, but it's like, man, it feels like it's really getting into the mainstream.
I've also seen some articles that have been like kind of doing the Pokemon comparisons with it,
I saw some too.
and like most of what I've seen has been more on the like positive side of Time Stranger,
Yeah, yeah.
which is wild.
Yeah, I saw one article saying it's just like if Pokemon's not careful, Digimon's gonna be eating Pokemon's lunch. Was the headline of
Are we
the
back in the
article.
early 2000s and 90s?
Yes, Zach. It's everything circled back around.
What is happening?
Yeah, right.
I haven't seen a Digimon Pokemon comparison since 2002.
I know, dude. We're back, baby. Digimon's all the way back.
It's because Digimon's getting popular again, and they don't know what to compare it to.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, Tamagotchis are dead, so you can't compare it to that anymore.
Hey, they got a new game. They got a new game that's coming out at the end of this month, I think. Tamagotchi Plaza.
I mean, I know, but there's a definitely distinct
I know,
difference nowadays
I know.
versus back then when he was like, oh, you get this little device with Digimon which you can connect and fight with people. And then Tamagotchi, you get this little device, you take care of this pet. You don't fight, but you still take care of it.
Right. No, man, just like I said, everything about Time Stranger right now and just the overall hype around the game, fantastic. Love it. Love that, like, I shot this out last week. I love that, like, the collector's edition of the games, like, even if you would get the big boy edition, comes with an actual physical copy of a game. Wanted to shout that out now because I'm gonna bitch about that here in a little bit, about a couple other games. But just everything about it, man. Everything about it's super positive right now. And so to further back to your question, buddy, I think it's time we're going mainstream with it.
And it's fine. It's
We're
finally
going mainstream.
It's finally happening. Or like, because I think it was like 3 years ago. There was like, I think I had sent it to you as a screenshot of a tweet that someone on the team for like the Digimon games made, where they're like, yeah, we got like 3 games in mind that we're cooking up right now. They took their time, and man, we're gonna be eating good.
Yeah, we're cooking. Yeah, I won't get to play it for like 2 weeks because I will be leaving for my honeymoon.
Wait, what's the third game? So I assume one was Survive, one's Time Strangers.
But
who knows?
maybe they're still
Okay.
working on
Who
it.
knows? Yeah, I don't know, man.
Rumble Arena 3.
Oh, please, brother. They have a Rumble Arena over in Japan that didn't come out over here, but
Yeah.
we need a true Rumble Arena 3.
It's just a battle royale.
But no, like you can best believe, as soon as I get home from my honeymoon, we're playing some Digimon Story Time Stranger. I'm pumped.
I'm gonna just send you a bunch of screenshots.
I'm gonna
With
block. I'm gonna
with
block you.
spoilers.
I'm gonna block you. I'm gonna block you.
Wait, we're getting 2 weeks of just shows with John and me?
Yeah. Because like that first Saturday that I'm gone, man, that's his Digimon time. That's Digimon time right there. And then whatever's the next week.
All right, John, I'm going to bring you the best sounding board ever.
Oh, buddy.
My father.
Oh, buddy. Scott has entered the program.
Yeah, there will be a lot of Digimon talk that week.
There's also going to be a lot of pre-recorded videos coming out for about 2 weeks, so get ready for that too, because I will not have a lot of time to do any editing to cut up the shows. We are going to have her laptop, so I am going to try to do some cutting up after you guys' show. At least maybe a couple things like Digimon Story stuff and anything that was like notable. But I may not like dive in and cut up the weekly wrap up. I'll get Gamestetic Game of the Week and whatever the big things are, and that's probably all I'll be able to get. Which I guess reminds me, I'm gonna have to probably get Photoshop on that laptop too, so I can get all that done. But either way, Digimon Story Time Stranger, very exciting. Shout out a sponsor. Let's shout out some Rogue Energy. Use the referral link down below to support the brand. Use promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order. You don't have to use the promo code though. They have a better sale going on. That's fine. Just use the referral link, and you're still gonna help us out. Regardless if you're picking up the hydration, the chill, or the energy, they're all fantastic. We recommend them all. Use the referral link down below. Promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off. And we also have some Rogue in studio. Zach, how is your Rogue Energy?
I mean, it's fine. Tastes all right. I mean, if you like dragon fruit, the dragon fruit lemonade is actually really good.
Bingo.
It is their most recent energy flavor since they've been sort of slacking on new flavors.
Yeah, lately they have.
But I mean, it's still good. I mean, they don't have a better just generic discount, but they do have their free shaker promo going. So buy a tub, get a shaker.
There you go. There has been a severe lack of flavors recently. It has me concerned. Where's the flavors?
Maybe we'll see more.
Maybe. I was hoping they'd bring back the strawberry mango for the summer because that's what they had like last summer or summer before. That thing was awesome. hoping that would come back, but alas, here we are with nothing. They did say they have some more chill flavors coming out, so I'm also waiting for that. I want another chill flavor because that chill flavor is pretty solid.
We shall see at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they tend to be more of like drop 2 or 3 at a time.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, true.
It very much is of they make them and then they'll drop them all at once,
Yeah, true.
and they keep the ones that sell. Because I don't know if you noticed, there's only 2 canned flavors now.
Oh, really? Which ones?
Yeah.
Black cherry and what?
Cotton candy.
That would make sense though. At least black cherry's there. That black cherry lemonade, buddy, that is delicious. That is like crack, man. That stuff is so good. God, I love that dang energy drink. All right, let me hit the Donkey Kong Bananza Direct. So I was already sold on the game just because it's a new Donkey Kong 3D game, and that's cool.
Why is Donkey Kong stealing Kirby's thing?
What, of getting transformations?
Yes.
Yo, shout out to him basically going Super Saiyan 4 or Luffy Gear 5, depending on what you want to say. But that, like, I saw that. Me and Christina were watching. I'm like, oh, it's Super Saiyan 4. She's like, no, it's not. It literally has, like, that is clearly inspired by a Super Saiyan. What are we talking about? But yeah, no, it does have the Bananza transformations. He has the Kong Bananza, the Zebra Bananza, and the Ostrich Bananza. So shout out to that. Allowing you to do different things for the Kong Bananza. It's just a bigger Kong with Super Saiyan hair that's made out of bananas. Just a lot of strength-based stuff. The Zebra for speed and the Ostrich for flying.
Everyone loved Odyssey so much for the fact that Mario could possess things. They went, all right, we can't have Donkey Kong possess things. What can we have him do?
Have him become other animals. Let's do it. Have him become other animals due to Pauline singing. Which, shout out, Pauline officially revealed.
Which it's technically a younger Pauline, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a younger Pauline. She was already like more or less like leaked, revealed with some cover arts before this direct, where it's like there was very clearly a child hanging on to DK's tie in the cover art. Everyone's like, "Is that Pauline? Why is she there?" But there was no reveal for it. So did get the full reveal for her, where in the entire narrative element of the game is that you and her are both trying to get to the surface. You're underground in this subterranean world, whatever. With your new antagonist, the Void Company, featuring 3 new Kongs, which is Grumpy Kong, Poppy Kong, and Void Kong. So shout out to Void Kong. Literally looks like Mojo Jojo. That's the first thing I thought when I saw this was Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls. And I also said, oh, great, we can have possibly another rep in a Smash Brothers eventually, is maybe Void Kong, whatever. It'd be cool. But you also have like a skill tree for Donkey Kong, a lot of different elements that you can evolve with your skill tree, a bunch of outfits. There is an artist mode, which I'm sure people will not abuse that at all. Cranky Kong and Ramby's going to be in the game. They also make some Mario references, so that's cool. And there is an amiibo, and the amiibo like sold out very quickly. So
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, I'm glad to see amiibo is still thriving because I love amiibos.
Like, people are actually going to already have the amiibo, or it's just pre-sale?
It's come out the same day as the game, so people just
pre-order.
Pre-orders are someone went to go check out the pre-order. I think it was Best Buy, and there was a virtual line for it to get in and grab it.
I mean, the amiibo collectors, they already have them all, so I mean they have plenty of money to spend on a new amiibo.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, well, we've gotten this far. I feel like there's a good chunk of amiibo collectors. It's just like, shit. All right, well, we've already gotten this far. We got to keep going because I love my amiibos, but that's how I was feeling with Smash, is that I already had everyone by the time that second DLC pack that we assumed was not going to happened, and I'm just like, shit. All right, well, I got more I got to buy now.
I mean, at this point, anyone who's an amiibo collector, I mean, they have all the amiibos, and they're released so sporadically now, they're just like, buy. Yeah,
exactly. And that's also me with the Zelda ones, because I think I'm only missing, like, I have not bought the 4 Guardians that came out with the Switch 2. And then I think I'm just missing like a Goblin from Breath of the Wild, and then I've got every Zelda one. So it's like the same thing. As soon as I saw those Guardians coming out, I was just like, fuck, all right, I'm gonna have to buy those. And I had the opportunity when we got the Switch 2 at Best Buy at midnight release, and I just kind of stared at them like, no, not tonight. We're not doing that tonight. I'll do that later.
I guess.
But no, the Donkey Kong Bonanza, the Direct, I mean, it just further sold that the game looks great. Everything about it
should have been on release.
Yeah, it should have 100% been a release title, no doubt. Which also going to shout out to that. We got another funny thing about a potential release title that was not later on in the weekly wrap up. But no, Bonanza should have been a launch title. That I saw so many people say that after the Direct. It's just like, bro, why wasn't this a launch title? Like, yeah, it's got to be ready because I mean it's coming out just a month from the launch of the console, right? It's like surely it's not like still actively being worked on when it's coming out a month later. If it came out at the end of the year, okay, yeah, maybe they're still fine tuning it or whatever. But it's like it's coming out literally like a month later. You're done with it. You just wanted Mario Kart World to breathe because you knew this was going to probably overshadow it.
Which I don't know why, because Mario Kart World has the higher longevity.
Yeah, exactly. That's true because like people would get Bonanza, play it, and go to World and be on World, off and on consistently for the entire time of the
That a
Switch
large
2.
majority of Bonanza people would be speedrunners from that point on.
Exactly.
Well, they just wanted to see like they wanted the initial rush to be able to eventually talk numbers of like launch day Mario Kart
Oh
sales.
yeah.
And if they released Bonanza at the same time, Bonanza may have beat it.
No,
Sure.
there's not a might.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Bonanza
Yeah.
would have done some work, man. People have been wanting a 3D Donkey Kong game for so long, man.
But it's I mean Mario Kart that's Nintendo's like golden goose
Right now,
that
yeah.
like always makes money.
Yeah.
Yep. But no, I mean, like I said, I've got this game already pre-ordered, dude. And this was just one of those situations of like you're already sold on the game, and everything else you saw just further sells you on it. It's just one of those cases. There's nothing like, yeah, we saw some new stuff with the transformations, which I'm picking fun at it, calling it like a Super Saiyan 4 or a Luffy Gear 5 thing. 'Cause that's what it looks like, straight up. But I mean, I'm glad to see some unique elements to the game, to a Donkey Kong game. And honestly, again, we talked about this with the Switch 2 Direct. I'm just glad that Nintendo like decided let's do something different. Everyone expected a 3D Mario. That's what everyone expected. And here we are with 3D Donkey Kong. They're taking a shot on something that is historically a lower seller than like the Mario, right? So just shout out, man. I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm really pumped to see what this game's gonna do numbers wise, and in terms of reviews and sales and stuff, and just the overall reception. Because right now, like everyone's just like, oh yeah, this is a day one pickup. This is a day one pickup. This is gonna be one of the best games of the year so far. Just and I agree, it looks like a lot of fun. So
I just gotta say as well, because I pitched to you. I remember pitching to you 3D Donkey
You
Kong,
did.
and you were like, nah, they won't do it. They won't do it.
you got me, brother. John did pitch this a few different times, and I shot it down immediately.
I mean, I also still expected a 3D Mario to come out with the launch of the Switch 2, but
Here we are.
With Donkey Kong Bonanza coming out July 17th.
I mean, I just continue. It's the time for rebirth of IPs because I don't know if you noticed. Was it last week? I think it was last week. But they released a remaster of the Gex trilogy.
I did see that. Yeah, I did see that.
I saw that pop up and went, got it.
Man, hopefully the Switch 2 will be a revival of old IPs. That would be pretty sweet. I mean, hey, I mean, think about it. They launched GameCube, and right out of the gate, they give you F-Zero GX.
Yeah.
Great F-Zero game. So maybe we can also get maybe a new Star Fox game finally or something. That would be pretty cool.
I don't think that's happening.
Whoa. I know the last one really sucked, but come on.
We're more likely to get a new. Is it Isaac? Is his name? No, not Isaac.
Golden Sun.
No, not Golden Sun.
Platoona's.
Platuna's.
Kid Icarus.
Yeah, Icarus.
Pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kid Icarus. Yeah, no, Isaac's the main character from Golden Sun.
Yeah.
I would like to see that franchise come back too.
Yeah, Golden Sun's pretty dead.
Yeah, that one's pretty well dead.
That's gonna be, if that one we get a new one, that's gonna honestly start a riot.
Yeah, right.
There's gonna be a fan base that's gonna riot for a little bit.
Yeah. All right, let me shout out some merch. Let's go check out some Agent Ink. Use the referral link down below. Pick up a jersey, pick up a hat, or go over to sparky3shop.com, pick up a shirt, pick up the We Have Hats hat or one of our other shirts that we have of choice. Again, use the referral link down below at Agent Ink, or just go over to sparky3shop.com and pick up some merch there. And we'd appreciate that. All right. So the next thing I had on the docket would have been the marathon thing. Do you guys want to go ahead and talk about that, or you guys want to talk about something else?
Sure, we can talk about the train wreck.
Oh my god, dude. So marathon delayed indefinitely to no one's surprise, I guess, except Bungie, because Bungie did not know about the delay. They found out the same time the rest of us found out, per sources. But no, game delayed indefinitely, which is no surprise after the entire dumpster fire of a scandal that came out on top of a very lukewarm. Yeah, the game's fine. You know, the gameplay was not over like had any sort of major positivity out of beta or alpha or testing or whatever they had. I think it was beta. The areas of focus that they're going to be working on during the delay is better AI, better solo and duo play, more engaging combat, improved visuals. No shit. More story, darker tone, and more suitable to the IP and more. Yeah, so basically what you're telling me is you're completely rebooting the game because the game, number one, is not that fun.
Well,
and everything was stolen. So
well,
Not everything.
not everything.
Calm down there.
not everything, but the main takeaway is a lot of this. I mean, yeah, granted, most of this is gonna be like the suspending it indefinitely is 100% due to the fiasco that they had with their art and everything.
Yep.
But the fact that since they're having to take it away anyway because of that, and they are going back and working on stuff that people complained about, because the main complaint with this game or like the main talking point is the fact that it's supposed to be an extraction shooter that doesn't feel like an extraction shooter.
Right.
It feels like they went for a more arcadey, fast-paced combat, but that's not generally what people are looking for in an extraction shooter.
Mm-hmm.
They want it's like typically people want the tense moments and the fights and repositioning and things like that. That was not this game. So maybe they'll come back and have something more palatable for the core audience that they're trying to make the game for. But the fact that they are just kind of moving away, not saying anything about like the whole art situation or anything like that, and are basically just like, yeah, we're just gonna ignore that is a thing with you guys and tell you that it'll come out with all the changes that you wanted, and they're just hoping that people forget.
Yeah.
That's very disappointing.
I'm quite convinced after seeing this that whenever we hear Marathon again, it's going to be a completely different game.
That's my mindset too. It's going to be totally different.
I think I saw an article where they basically said, no, marathons. It's like we're keeping with what it is. We're just making some changes to it.
Well, I say completely different game in terms. I mean, I guess I should rephrase that. Not completely different game. Completely from what I see here, aesthetic.
Oh yeah.
So like, whenever we hear about Marathon again, we're gonna have like a comparison, and people will be like, 2025 Marathon versus whatever year Marathon.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna be complete. People looking and go, that's not the same game.
Yeah. Complete 180.
You would hope that it would be like 2028 Marathon,
right?
But realistically, it's probably going to be like 2026.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I was going to ask you guys, because
they're going to assume everybody's forgot about it by then.
I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of talk about it anyway, so not many people are keeping their eyes on it, at least vocally keeping their eyes on it.
Right.
Well, the other thing is like this game's going through hell right now, and it's like it had its like moment of time where the entire gaming community was in like up in arms about it and like rightfully shouting at it.
Yeah.
And then very quickly, the like what would be the main competitor that's gonna come out for it got its release date dropped, which was Arc Raiders. So people have kind of just turned their attention to looking forward to Arc Raiders now and kind of forgotten about Marathon.
Yeah.
One thing that I wanted to ask you guys, because I saw a few different articles and a few different people kind of propose this question, because it kind of ties into what you said. It's like by the time we see it, it's gonna be a totally different game. So in terms of like timeline and release dates, right, and also having the knowledge that we have of the disaster that's been the Sony live service era, the next live service game that apparently should be coming out for Sony is going to be this Fair Games. What does Sony do if Fair Games launches, completely bombs, which from the sound of it probably will? What do they do with Marathon? Do they keep running full steam ahead? Do they further change the game again? Do they cancel it? Like, do they delay it out even further to maybe the PS6? Like, what if the next live service game that drops, whether it's Fair Games or someone else, before Marathon, and it absolutely shits the bed? What do they do with Marathon?
And they keep it live service.
Yeah, I mean, you have to keep with it.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying change it from live service. I mean, like, let's say they decide, okay, maybe let's not do an extraction shooter. Maybe let's try this.
Well, you can't.
Maybe let's do this.
I mean, from it sounds like Marathon's pretty much on the developers' hands of like it's going to be an extraction shooter regardless of whatever happens.
Yeah.
It is going to stay as an extraction shooter.
Yeah, because the problem isn't the fact that it's an extraction shooter. The problem is it's an extraction shooter that doesn't. It doesn't feel like an extraction shooter to the community that plays extraction
I was
shooters.
about to say, from what I remember hearing, is just the gameplay loop wasn't fun or engaging in the least bit.
True.
So it's like if they can change that up, then there's nothing wrong with it being an extraction shooter or a live service game. But also, like, it's got to be said, Sony wanting to jump on the live service trend and make live service games. The problem that they've had with that attempt that they've done is they started with like 15 games.
Yeah.
And they've released like 2, if that.
They really wanted to have a strong live service game, but have yet to have one that's actually solid and landed, and have yet to be like, what did people not like about that we can possibly not incorporate in
Helldivers is the only one they've had that's worked.
Yeah, that's the only one that's been successful, and that was the one that Sony had the least hands-on.
Yeah, they take the wrong lessons from the games failing, but also they've like this can be weird to say, they tried the right thing with Concord in creating their own new thing.
Yes.
They failed in not making a game that was distinct enough, or like the type of game people were. You can't even say not the type of game people were looking for at the time, because Concord came out and was a massive failure, and then Rivals came out in the same genre and blew up. So it's not the type of game that it was; it's that it was not distinct enough.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't do anything to make you want to play it.
Yeah.
Whereas like Rivals did. But the other problem is Sony, they tried to make live service games based around their existing IPs. But they picked IPs nobody wanted to be live service games. So then they worked on them for years and canceled them.
Or the few that people did want, they were in development for so long that people stopped caring.
Yeah, and it's like, and then they see that people aren't interested in it, and then everything gets canceled. It's like, if you want to do a push for live service games, I mean, what a lot of these live service games, they come out and they're either pretty good and they last and like they last the test of time, or they come out, they're pretty good, they're kind of a flash in the pan for 6 months, but they make a shitload of money during that time. You don't spend 9 years or like 6 years working on a live service game to come out that people are going to blow through the content in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like put it together in a year or two, throw a concept together and put it out there. The live service game anyway, people are going to blow through it. It's like, you could have had some fun making some wacky shit.
I mean,
and as somebody who loves playing these trashy live service games, I would have loved to have seen a few more. But it's like they spent all the money developing like a few games in particular and canceling everything else, but then focused on the ones that were never going to succeed.
Right.
I mean, like, the biggest thing, like, Concord is probably by far a giant failure, but also a giant disappointment, because from the bit we got to see of Concord, it seemed like they had actually built a curious and actually very interesting world itself.
True.
Which could have actually drawn in people, even if with the Concord live service failure, if they had somehow decided to make a plan to flip it into like a spin-off single player, that could have actually done well.
Yeah.
Because people were very interested in the initial trailer and what the story was trying to tell us.
I mean, that was us. Like John's the greatest example. He was really interested until he saw it as a hero shooter.
If Concord would have been like an open zone dungeon type like live service game in similar veins of like Destiny First Descendant, I'd have been all over that shit.
Oh yeah, you would have.
But it came out and it's a generic hero shooter that at its core is a fine game, but does nothing to distinguish itself from any other fine game out there. It's like that. Yeah, that's not gonna cut it.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my biggest things. Is like Concord was a very possible interesting IP that is now dead.
Yeah, completely dead. What a disaster. And man, if I fear Marathon could be a huge disaster as well.
Oh, I don't think. I think even if they go away and come back in a couple years, I don't think the game's gonna succeed.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. I can't see it happening.
I mean,
man.
I see there being a small chance that the game itself succeeds, but they're gonna have to come back with something big enough that really draws everyone in.
Yeah, something huge.
Because it's like they could come back in, and it could bring in like, I mean, depending on, I mean, they probably go big bucks and try to get some of like the big content creators to be sponsored for the game and stuff,
True,
which in
true.
itself would bring some people in while they're playing it. But the second those people hop off because they may not enjoy the game as much, like people aren't going to stay around for it.
No,
Right.
But it's one where, especially that genre of game, it's like you got some competition because it's like, I mean, the ones that are still there are there because they're the best version of that game.
Yeah.
And it's mainly like Tarkov.
Mhm.
It's still there because it's the best version of it, even if the people that play it don't like playing it.
that is true.
They just play it because it's the best that there is of that type of game.
Yeah, they would like to have something else. They would like to have other options to bounce between a couple, not just play the same thing.
Because it's one where it's like it's the same with like any type of like game genre out there. There's always one that does it better than everyone else.
Yeah.
But it's like it's nice when there's some variety of games that are like, it may not be the best, but it's a pretty good alternative that I can jump on for a little while.
Yeah, it's a nice 7 out of 10 that you can go have a good little time on.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. So hopefully Marathon can be that, but again, I don't think it's going to succeed when it comes back. I think it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah. I mean, it's just to like equate it to myself. I love playing ARPGs. I've been playing a shitload of Path of Exile this week. I bounce between like 5 different games whenever each one has its own new season that comes out.
Yeah.
It's like they're not all the same. Some of them aren't as good as others, but I'll play them all.
It's nice to have something different.
Yeah, it's nice to have a little variety.
Flavor. Yeah, nothing wrong with some variety. Change up the flavor every once in a while. You guys got anything else you guys want to talk about? If not, I can start kind of going through the weekly wrap up. Bum ba bum bum.
Didn't we miss something?
No, that was the 3 main things. So we talked alters.
Okay.
We did Donkey Kong, Digimon, and Marathon, and we are basically now in the weekly wrap up territory.
Okay.
So,
I was thinking we missed something, but I guess not. Okay.
So, John, what about you? You got anything you want to talk about before we really dive into the weekly wrap up here today?
I was trying to think if there was something else that I did this week, but I don't think so. I think it was all PoE until today, and then it was alters.
Yeah, for me this week, it's been mostly the alters. One evening where I was frustrated with the alters, went and played some more 100 line. Had another character die in my current run, so shout out to that. Yeah, shout out to that. Had another character die, so now I've got 2 deaths in my playthrough. It was a sacrifice thing, and I had to pick who to die. So that was great. I was stuck in a situation. It's like, which one of these 3 do I want to go get killed? And I'm just like, fuck.
Oh, so it's not from the whole cast. It's just one of the 3.
Yeah, it's a select 3. It's just based on narrative. Like everyone else gets like wiped out kind of thing. And there's 3 left standing plus you. And basically to ensure that what we're doing happens, you got to pick one person to go take care of it.
Self-esteem boy, I choose you.
Yeah, I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice. I'm trying to remember who the 3 were. I know because I know obviously 2, but who was the 3rd?
Obviously, you let them live because you don't remember.
Yeah, I know. Who was the 3rd? I don't remember who the 3rd was. Oh, I remember. Yeah, so for me, I I don't think it's a bad thing to say this because there's 100 different.
I was about to say only the people who know what path you're on will
exactly.
know.
There's 100 different ones, so I had to pick between Tsubasa.
Nope, she's alive. She's living. I don't care what you say.
You know, Takamaru, and Sword Lady.
By Kior. I forget her name.
Yeah, she was the one that I went with. Yeah, she was. I have never enjoyed. If I'm going to be upfront with you, all of the second to last Defense Academy characters, I do not like any of them except Nozumi and now Wrestler.
I'm sorry.
The other three I do not like.
I like Pumpkinhead.
I mean, I like all of them as characters, but as units, I don't like them. Do not like any of them. They're
Pumpkinhead is great for me for stall tactics.
I mean, yeah, she can be 100%.
I literally use all my barricades with her, and then just set up her towers and be like, "Yeah, get through this bullshit."
Right? Yeah. But yeah, no. Sword Lady did make the sacrifice. It was a pretty epic moment.
I was about to say her or Takamaru would be my go-tos because they probably have the best at her scenes.
I want to see everyone's scenes. I
nope, Tsubasa's not dying.
I want to see their scenes.
Unless the story forces it, Tsubasa's staying alive. I don't give a damn.
Tsubasa's a great character.
She is my mechanic, and she is always going to live.
She's a great character.
If ever choice because it goes Tsubasa or someone else, everyone else is dead. Tsubasa is ride or die, quite literally.
Yeah. No, I would be curious to see what their scenes, how it would play out. You know. But yeah, no. Sword Lady did bite the dust for me, unfortunately. So I have lost 2 characters in this playthrough based on story. You know, just on how it goes. So we'll see how it continues to go.
Actually, I take that back. I probably would sacrifice Takamaru.
Really?
Yeah, because
I love Takamaru.
He's a great character. But
I love him as a unit too.
My Sword Lady, I have her built as a nuke.
Okay.
Literally, when any of the bosses show up on her side of the field, I went, "You're screwed." Because almost indefinitely, I usually run Nozumi with her. If Nozumi's on the other side, I run Nozumi to her.
Yeah.
Because literally, I just use her her second skill, which stuns her.
Yep.
So it's literally just hit Nozumi.
Right.
So I usually end up racking a crap ton of damage on a boss.
No, this playthrough has been pretty interesting so far, though. I will say.
Did you have the fusion boss?
Yes.
I'll probably need to ask you which fusion you got.
So mine was. Well, for yours was it the lovers? All right. Again, these playthroughs are vastly different. Mine was the 2 lovers.
I don't think so because they very much did not act like lovers. So no.
Yeah, no. When mine died, they were on the ground holding hands, talking about how much they loved each other, and they regretted that their son was going to grow up without their parents. And like all of your units is like, I feel like we're intruding in on something. It's like now that we can understand them, this is really depressing.
Oh no, yeah, definitely not them.
Yeah, no. So for me, it was the one that got Ema. And the other one was the one that got Ema, and God, what was the other one? Basically when they fused, it just became a gigantic worm snake. That's basically what it looked like when it fused. But it was 100% the one that got Ema. That was for sure. And then some other one that was like a snake-esque thing. I don't know.
Mine was still the worm lady.
Okay.
And the
Ema one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was the one that can dig underground.
Yes.
Because she has no points since you're not going to let Ema get taken.
Yes. So
she just shows up. And I don't think it was her lover because I didn't get that scene at the end of the fight. But it was the crap, what was it?
So I'm drawing a blank too.
It was the big thing with the giant like drilled type head.
No, that might be your lover. So you just didn't get the lover scene.
Yeah, no, because mine was like a midday fight. Was yours a midday fight?
Yeah.
Then I don't know what happened because they definitely.
Yeah, no, mine was like they're lovers and they have a whole scene when they're dying, talking about their kid and everything. That's interesting.
It can't be the same one then.
That sounds right. I'm gonna have to look up the commanders. I'll look at the commanders after the show to confirm because now it's bugging me.
Because they did not act like lovers. It was.
No, I'm looking up now. It's bugging me.
They literally had an interaction. It's like it's been a while since we had been able to fight together.
Yes, yeah, no, that's her lover. For me, there was a whole scene when they lost of like, oh, about how they are lovers.
Yep. Nope. We've completely ditched that in my playthrough. They did not do that.
Oh, that's great, dude. These playthroughs are so damn interesting, man. Oh,
We murked them and we just carried on.
that's fantastic. That is fantastic, dude.
Unless I erased that scene in my mind, but I feel like I would have remembered that.
Yeah, no, that's the right one, dude. Vala Garzo, that was his name. Yeah, it's a monster form, resembles a gigantic head with flowing mane and no arms, supported by two rather short legs. His ability takes the form of a cannon that appears on his forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they're lovers. They were lovers in mine. They died holding hands and talked about their kid, and everyone was just like, "Man, I feel like we're intruding."
Yep. I guess they
Man.
don't have a kid. They haven't had a kid yet.
Fascinating. These different playthroughs are fascinating.
Because yeah, no, I murked them when we just carried on.
Okay, so you didn't lose anyone after that then.
Nope.
Oh God, fascinating. This game is so deep, dude. I love it.
Yep. Besides the one person I personally murdered, nope.
Wow, that's great. 10 out of 10.
My team's still running strong.
Man, 10 out of 10. 100 Line. Dude, one of the best games of the year as well. Like, it really is. If you haven't played 100 Line, you got to go play 100 Line, man. 100 Line is really good. And honestly, please, if anything, just go play it just to simply support the devs and support the team, because they have been very vocal. It's just like, this game might bankrupt us, but we made it. Please go play it. They put a lot of work into it.
Meanwhile, John, did you ever pick 100 line up?
Yeah. I need to get back to it.
Oh,
'cause
yeah, that's right. You're still on a standard route.
It's one where like I'm around like day 40-ish. And
You have so much.
well, yeah, it's like I'm in the prologue still, basically.
Yeah, you are.
But it's like I'm still there, just because like I was playing it, and then I've been bombarded with a bunch of other stuff that I've been playing.
Right.
But it's sitting right there waiting on me.
Hey, at least you bought it and tried it. That's enough.
Oh,
to
that's
support
that's
the
the thing. I like the game.
yeah.
It's just there's been a lot of other stuff that
Yeah.
I've been playing in the meantime.
Yeah. Yeah, you're supporting the team. That's what matters. So they don't go bankrupt. Because even the director's just like, yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to make a game of this level again. I don't think that's happening. This is my one and done. And he still wants to add more to it, which would be really cool. Shout out to that. He wants to add more endings and more story plots. So
I mean, I do like at the point we're playing, because they did add the update where if any battles are similar in another route, you can just skip the fight.
I saw that. That's nice. Yeah, that's a nice.
Because a lot of people were complaining about that. As I'm playing through, I was like, yeah, I could see knowing how to. I mean, if you're quickly running through routes,
Yeah.
it'd be annoying having to do some fights over and over again.
Yeah, especially they're exact
Very
same.
similar.
Yeah. So that's gonna further add to just how quickly you can get like 30 clears, like I've seen some people say. Where I was asking, it's like, man, these clears have got to end before 100, because how do you already have 30 done? That's just impressive.
Some have to end before day 100.
They got to, because again, the fact that some people like, as of like 2 weeks ago, saying, yeah, dude, I've already got it like 30 times. It's like, what do you mean you got it 30 times? Jesus. Anyway, all right, let's jump into some weekly wrap up, boys. All right, so we do have some Xbox news shout out. Xbox officially announces work on the future console in partnership with AMD. All right, I mean, kind of already knew it was happening, but hey, we have the official announcement. And then I know some people are nitpicking that they said consoles, saying there's going to be more than just the next one, which I've been under the mindset I think the next one's the last one. And I'm still going to stay true to that, unless depending on the route they take for the next console. But partnering with AMD is going to be a good partnership for them, 100%.
What kind of box shape do you think the next one's going to be in?
Dude, it's going to be a tower. I think it's just going to be basically an Xbox PC. That's just my mindset. They're going to rinse and repeat the fridge, but it's just going to be like a computer tower. That's what I think it's going to be. Just a rectangle, but skinnier. PC. That's what I think. I think they're just really going to go that route, man. It's just like a PC route. So, I don't know. What do you think? You got an opinion?
It'll be like a little table that you put your TV on.
That's actually sort of what I was leaning towards as well.
It's like it's gonna be a little table that has legs. It's gonna be all the components will be inside the table portion of it. You put your TV on that and just hook directly into it.
God, that thing would be bulky as all get out.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's like comically big too.
For the price point that's being pitched around, could be. I've seen some analysts think that they would not be shocked if the next Xbox came in at a starting price of $1,000, just based on what they're going for. And if they do that, again, I really think they're going to continue to make Xboxes, but it's going to be for the audience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's going to be a PC, almost an Xbox PC, $1,000, still with a game console at its heart to an extent, but it's for like that audience, right? Because it's kind of like a Steam Deck, right? Steam Deck sells well. It's not a blowout seller. It'll never be a blowout seller. It's never going to reach the heights of a Switch, or something like that. But it has its audience that's going to buy it, and it's going to get a Steam Deck 2, probably a Steam Deck 3, and it's going to be supported because of its audience. If they end up going that route for the next Xbox, I think that's going to Xbox will forever stick around if they do that, because their mindset is we are targeting our audience and that's it. So I don't know, but if it comes in at $1,000, buddy, I ain't buying one. That one ain't happening. That's where I draw the damn line. I will go to 5. I've obviously bought consoles at 500. But I am not going to 1,000. At that point, I am just going to get me a new PC, which I do want to do eventually anyway.
Yeah, I mean, first party games come to Game Pass anyway.
Yeah.
Which is usually what I'm playing, or like having my Xbox for. And since Xbox has moved in the Play Anywhere direction, and like the whole "this is an Xbox" campaign, that just means that in past years, not all games would come to PC Game Pass. Now all games do come to PC Game Pass.
Yeah, a lot more has been shifted over to PC Game Pass.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's starting to become more of a norm. So
it's one where if their next thing is that expensive, goodbye to the Xbox console for me. I'll just play everything on my PC.
yeah, exactly.
I already play half of it on my PC anyway.
Yeah. Apparently, also part of I saw some like kind of conversation around this is that part of the AMD partnership is apparently backwards compatibility is going to be a huge focus as well, which that's something Xbox has already been kind of working on their own as well. Just further trying to get more compatibility across the board. Because I saw someone comment on this about the whole Play Anywhere thing. This dude said he's just like, he owns like 300 plus Xbox games digitally that he's bought over time. But he can only play like 70 something just based on like the compatibility and like the Play Anywhere. So it's like the Play Anywhere, it's a work in progress kind of thing. So if the AMD partnership helps with that, that's better for the Xbox brand to help really play your games anywhere. There was also Xbox Quest 3 image that was leaked. Apparently we got a Quest 3 Xbox VR headset in the works that's on the way. I saw the image for it. It's just, black with an X logo, and it's a Quest. It's a Quest 3, but it's Xbox. Shut that. Xbox dipping into some VR stuff, which all that's going to do is it's going to further make Kojima's game OD creepy as hell. Like, up front, this cloud game he's working on, I imagine that could be a VR title potentially, or have a VR way to play, kind of like, let's say, the Midnight Walk, where you can do either or. I could see the same thing with OD because Kojima's a madman and he's here to create a crazy game, crazy experience. Oh, I'm glad I said that because I don't have it in the weekly wrap up and I forgot this. Do you remember like a few weeks ago when I was talking about Kojima, like talking about Death Stranding, how he was like disappointed? There was positivity around Death Stranding 2 like playtest, and we were all like, "What the heck, man?" Or at least I was. So he talked about that again like last week, like into last week. And kind of more clarified on it, that he said he felt like the reason he was disappointed with everyone like having super positive reactions is that he said at that point he feels like it would have become like too mainstream and not a unique experience that was going to really make you think and give you a unique play experience versus just being something standard that like universally is going to be loved. And I'm like, I can see where you're coming from. That makes more sense. Shout out to Kojima. But no, I mean, that's a fair mindset of just not wanting to just be the mainstream thing and do something unique and special and different. So
that is very much a unique thing for Kojima and few developers can aim for.
Yeah, exactly. So I saw that clarification like in the last week or earlier this week or whatever, and I thought that was really interesting. Next up is apparently third-party games on the Switch 2 is not selling well.
Not a surprise.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that like putting third-party games on a console years after their release wouldn't sell so well when people probably already tried to buy them on the previous console and they didn't run well.
Well, I think my bigger takeaway from that is the fact of like you got third-party games releasing at the release launch where you're already pumping out the $600+ for the Switch 2, plus having to pay $80 for the first-party games. You're gonna focus the first-party games if you have the extra money for that. Third-party games are definitely going to be on the back burner when you recover from your financial hole that is the Switch 2.
Oh yeah, that's like when I went and bought mine. I went and found the guy at the store. He goes, "All right, you want games with?" And I went, "No."
See, I'm actually in the mindset. I think it's the game key cards, like because the number one seller of third parties is Cyberpunk.
Okay.
So like I really think that, man, if it wasn't for Nintendo making such a big deal about, which I say that at the same time, you got to appreciate transparency, you know, because I mean, transparency is a good thing.
Yes.
But like Nintendo's made such a big deal, and the gaming community, rightfully so, has made such a big deal about game key cards. I think that's what's killing it, personally, because it's like the whole idea of a game key card. That's not a new thing Nintendo did,
No.
right? Like, it's been around for a little while.
No,
I mean,
they're the ones being openly transparent about it,
which is a good thing, and now kind of a bad thing.
because it's like there are whole channels like related to gaming that are focused on buying new game like discs for new games and putting it in their console with everything offline, not connected in any way to the internet to see if the game's actually on the disc.
Yeah.
And it's like I've been seeing those pop up more and more.
Yeah.
And it's like because you never know what you're buying. Half the games you buy that you get a disc for, you have to immediately like you plug it in and you immediately download.
Yep.
Oh, from this generation then towards like the mid of previous generation. Yeah, no, that was very noticeable. Just
Yeah.
And it's like you just have Nintendo's the first ones just being like, yeah, if you buy this one, it'll have the game on it. If you buy these ones, you'll have a download code. It'll prompt it for a download.
Yeah.
Basically. Which, you know, again, you know, you have to appreciate them having the transparency, but it's also like Nintendo presented that option for third-party developers to use, and it just so happens everybody's using it except CG Projekt Red and Marvelous. They're the only ones who's not. And that's also where people are upset with third-party developers. It's like CD Projekt Red did it. Marvelous has done it with their 3 or 4 titles they have coming out this year. Like, why can't you? You know, why do you have to do a game key card? 'Cause, I mean, it is noticeable at the Switch where, you know, in the past, I'll be out and about with my Switch, and I will go pop in certain titles, and the certain titles will give a prompt on my Switch saying, checking if I can play this title because I need to be on the and you know, it won't let me. And I'm like, well, let me turn on my fucking hotspot on my phone, I guess, so I can play this fucking game. You know, so I mean, it's been a thing. It's a thing on the PS4, like you said, and Xbox One towards the end of that generation. It's been a thing all throughout PS5 and Xbox Series.
Well, yeah,
it's just Nintendo being transparent, and I think it's just gamers don't want like a key to a game. You know, they want the game.
They also don't want to know that that's what it is.
Exactly. That's why.
Because the other thing is
they
like,
don't want to know about it.
Because it's like I buy all my games digitally pretty much, and it's one where 99.9% of the time you don't think about it.
Yeah.
But then there are cases like the couple times in the past year or two when the PlayStation Network goes down.
Yeah.
Where it's like you go to play something and it's like can't verify that you have that. It's like it hasn't checked in a certain amount of time. We have to verify that you have the game.
Yep.
That's basically what your Switch is doing when you pop in that game. It just needs a quick connection to go, is this something that you're allowed to play? Is this connected to your account?
It's like, do you have a license?
Exactly. You know, it's not Nintendo's fault. It's just that's the gaming industry. I mean, that's where we are
Because
currently.
I mean, it is more affordable for game developers and whatnot.
And it's one of those things that, like, I mean, really, when it's you have to again appreciate Nintendo for being actually transparent on it. I mean, if they weren't transparent on it, it would just be noticeable that, like, oh, I pick up Street Fighter 6 and I have to connect to the internet to even play it, you know, by myself, you know, just to mess around. Or, God bless, I'm drawing a blank on all these third-party games that came out. Whatever other third-party game, let's say it's just strictly single-player games. Like, okay, yeah, I've got to check into the internet for me to play it. So it's like even if they didn't, even if they weren't transparent about it, you would still notice it. But it's like what you just said, people just don't want to know about it.
Well, yeah.
So
It's also it's kind of the backlash because it is also Nintendo.
yeah,
And people are used
easy to pick on kind of thing.
Everybody's used to when you have a cartridge for a Nintendo product that you can play it no matter what.
Yeah.
But now certain cartridges aren't the game is new for them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I mean, like when I saw that news, I wasn't necessarily surprised, especially when I saw Cyberpunk was the one that like sold really well. Because like, you know, going into the Switch 2, like there was all this talk it was gonna be a heavy third party support, which we've clearly already seen. Because like, why wouldn't third parties want to be on the Switch 2 after what the Switch 1 did, right? That's a good business decision is let's get our game on the Switch 2 because the Switch 1 was great. But it's like if so many developers are going to lean in towards this game key card, it's just going to turn off gamers. So what I'm going to be curious about is that after this launch debacle, if going forward we start seeing developers take the time to actually put the game on the cartridge like CD Projekt Red did. If we start to see more third parties, like let's say going into 2026 that are not game key cards, then I feel like we can look back at the launch lineup and say, oh, yeah, it was probably just because no one wanted a game key card. That's why they didn't buy it. So, I don't know. It's just an interesting thing that came out.
I could only assume that for third parties, it's cheaper for them to make a
Almost
game
definitely.
key card.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot
cheaper
of them.
and probably faster.
Yeah. Because, like, we can pump these out way faster than actually having to put the game on there.
Almost definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the standard because, as we just mentioned, I mean, a lot of games currently do that anyways on current generations. So it's probably a pretty significant standard at this point.
And one other thing as well is that you got to look at like probably some developers and studios and publishers looking at what's happening right now with all these game key cards not selling well and the few actual games selling well. And they're probably going to sit here and say like for one title or another, okay, yeah, we need this on the cartridge. Because like a great example that I thought of immediately when I read this article is the possibility of Final Fantasy 16 coming to the Switch 2. Because, you know, Final Fantasy 16, as we know, did not sell well on the PlayStation. Square Enix has come out and said that like, hey, we want to change our strategy going forward. We want our games on more consoles for more people to play it. Obviously came out on Xbox and it has bombed because that's not your audience. Xbox is not your audience. If Final Fantasy 16 gets over to the Switch 2, you're hitting a larger audience, especially over in Japan, right? Like that is your audience. Xbox is unfortunately just not your audience.
16 is on PC, right?
I don't think it's on PC.
I don't think it got a port yet.
No.
It might have. I can't remember.
No, I don't think it has a port yet because I think the last one to get a port to PC, if it has got its port already, it was Rebirth.
Yeah, I think it was Rebirth.
Yeah, Rebirth does.
They like Sony. Because the other thing is, Final Fantasy in general hasn't been selling well.
Yeah, true.
Because like even Rebirth was
underperforming.
Like with Sony, and that's why they probably rushed to get it to PC, and then probably gonna like, I think they're selling it on Xbox too at some point.
It is.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I think so.
But it's like
well, at some point, yeah, because Remake is now coming on there.
Yeah, Remake is fast release.
Because they're trying to get it around. But I think that the honest truth is people are kind of down on Final Fantasy.
That's also fair.
Because it's like everybody was up on it for FF7 Remake, but then Rebirth comes out and doesn't sell near as well.
Even though it's still solid.
Yeah, but I think it's the majority of people are me in that situation.
Now, careful about the majority word.
No, it is clearly a majority because it sold a fraction of what the first game did.
Yeah.
I think the majority of people are probably like me in that, where it's Final Fantasy Remake is like the first 15 to 20% of FF7. Rebirth is the middle portion of the game, and the third game is going to be the end of the game.
Yeah.
If I'm going to play that, I'm going to wait for it to come out as a complete game.
True.
Regardless of if each individual game could be its own game in itself.
True. No, like I said, I just think it'll be interesting though, because I feel like, you know, these failures it'll just catch eyes for other studios that may want to put a game on the Switch 2 that they don't want it to put on the Switch 2 and just die. You know what I mean? Like just not sell. So I don't know. Just something to kind of watch. Like I said, if we see going forward more like less game key cards, then I feel like we can really look back at this launch line. I'm like, oh well, look at that. That makes sense, I guess. Next thing I've got is apparently Sony is interested in buying Warner Brothers game assets. I mean, Warner Brothers. I mean, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
go for it, I guess.
Why not?
Yeah, why
you
not?
You want to get some more properties? Go ahead.
Yeah, why not? You know, Warner Brothers is only focusing on their 4, right? Like,
Yeah.
They recently came out and said that, and they've canceled other projects, and they're focusing on their 4 big ones.
Warner Brothers, let them take the Nemesis system.
Please, God, you let someone else have it, brother.
I don't care if they get the.
Why do you think Sony wants them?
Yeah,
I was
just
like, I don't care.
System.
I don't care if Sony gets the Lord of the Rings property. Just sell them the Nemesis system.
Right.
Oh, there you go. Sony buys Warner Brothers to get the Nemesis system, so then they can push their new live service game
with the Nemesis system.
Oh,
Which
don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother. Next,
Zach's no longer happy.
Don't ruin the Nemesis system. You won't ruin the Nemesis system. You'll just give everyone a bad taste.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. All right. Next up, we have some second news. So, Persona 4 Revival and Strange in Heaven are both set to release in fiscal year 2027, aka just sometime after April 2026, based on how fiscal years line up. We also got some sales numbers out of this, which, funny enough, the sales numbers were apparently posted accidentally. Like, there's like a full sales chart that made by Sega. That Sega, like, I forgot where it was posted, like somewhere on their site, but it was not supposed to be part of the fiscal year report.
No.
But it's out there. So P5R at 7.25 mil, Sonic Frontiers at 4.57, Like a Dragon at 2.86, Sonic Superstars at 2.43. Hey, shout out to that. I didn't think Sonic Superstars was going to get that high.
I didn't think Frontiers was going to be that high.
I can kind of agree. I thought Frontiers would probably be more like the 2 million mark. So shout out to that. It's almost at 5.
Frontiers was eventually became a soundtrack with the game. So.
Oh, that soundtrack's so good. It got robbed at the Game Awards for not at least in the music category. That's bullshit. Shin Megami Tensei 5 as well as Vengeance combined at 2.11 million. Persona 3 Reload at 2.07.
That one in particular sticks out to me.
Persona 3?
Yeah, Persona 3 Reload sticks out at like 2.07 there.
Yeah.
Because that game was also on Game Pass.
True.
Yeah, so that it's still
like
sold a
that's
lot.
the only Game Pass game on here that I can really, or the only one that I
fair,
know of.
That launched on Game Pass.
To be fair,
yeah.
I was part of that group that I bought the game and then played it on Game Pass, but I still bought the game.
Yeah, right.
But it's like the fact that that was launched on Game Pass and still sold over 2 million units is pretty impressive.
Yeah. Infinite Wealth at 1.66 and The Man Who Erased Their Name at 960K. And then there was no exact number, but Metaphor is also past 2 million, which Metaphor is in that same boat because it launched on Game Pass. No,
it didn't launch on Game Pass.
No, my
it just
bad.
recently.
Yeah, it just got on Game Pass.
Yeah, it just came. Yeah. No, which with that being the case, I was like, when I saw that number of that, it was only over 2 million. I was like, man, I kind of thought that'd be more like 4, but yeah, 2's still good. 2's still really good.
It's not Persona.
I mean, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we already shout out earlier, Rematch has launched and it already hit 1 million players online in its first 24 hours. So big shout out to that. We got some Borderlands 4 stuff.
I hate Randy.
Borderlands 4. The game is going to end up just being priced at $70. So all that for nothing, you know. There is deluxe and super deluxe editions, and there's no game at all.
Dude, this
with
is the
the
funniest
super
thing.
deluxe edition.
It's like it's $150 version of the game.
Do you at least get a nice statue?
You get, I believe you get like a statue, you get a couple art books, and you get something else, but it does not come with a game.
Do you get a digital code?
No, you don't have the game.
The game not included.
Game is not included. Sold separately.
This is just a.
So you're buying a merch bundle?
Yeah, it's a merch bundle.
Yes.
That in the fine print tells you it doesn't come with the game.
Yes. And the funny thing is that there is actually another game also doing this.
That's very dangerous.
But before we kind of bounce around on your thing of another game, I don't like it, but I have to mention something with Borderlands. At least with Borderlands 4, they aren't doing the thing that every other company right now is doing with their deluxe and super deluxe editions and everything. They're not having an early access period where you pay for like 5 days early. So unfortunately, it's Borderlands taking the stand on that. But They also a lot of Borderlands news and videos have come out in the last week, especially the last few days, because they did have like creators and stuff be able to go and play the game and like film it for like an hour
Yeah.
for their time. So we have gotten a lot of like early game Borderlands news to come out.
Is it mixed?
It's all positive.
Yeah, it is all positive.
Yes. I mean, I'm actually happy about that because
It's
that was my look from the trailer we got. It was actually looking really good.
everybody's saying that it's well, long time like Borderlands content creators
Yeah.
have made the comment that like there's a lot of it's going to take some getting used to because there's a lot of new controls.
Mhm.
And
That's also what seemed like it.
but everything's positive, which is weird.
Yeah. I'm glad you shouted things out that things were going to be positive, because the last couple times I put out a Borderlands clip, boy, you two boys have been in the trenches.
Why?
Boy, the comments have destroyed our past couple Borderlands videos.
He's been positive about Borderlands. I've been the one that's been kind
It's
of
like what I do there. I didn't think I did anything bad on that one.
No, dude, both of you have been taking on the shins in those videos. I've been in the trenches defending you boys, but
Damn.
boy, you guys have been taking on the shins.
What, they just hating on us because we like Borderlands?
Just one thing or another. It's all stupid shit. I gotta be honest with you. It's all
Okay.
stupid shit. But yeah, no, the no game with the Super Deluxe is weird, man.
that's really funny.
And I hate it. And dude, there's another game that's apparently doing, because as soon as I saw this, I'm scrolling through and I see another big boy edition of a game I'm excited for, a game you're excited for, and it also doesn't have the game in the big boy edition, and that's Trails in the Sky, the first remake. And I'm just like, bruh, it was already bad enough when these big editions gave me a steelbook and no physical game. Now we're just going to no game at all? What are we doing?
I need to put a pre-order in for that game at some point.
What, Trails?
Just make sure you order the right version.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
gotta make sure I order it from the right damn place to get the game.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
Yeah. Dude, if that's the direction we're going for big boy editions, like that's just frustrating as hell. Which is also why I'm really pumped about the Digimon Story one, because it actually gives you a physical game with it, and that's cool. I'm about that. But yeah, just like the fact we have 2 big editions coming out of games and there's no game with it, even a digital code, that's wild to me, and I do not like it. That's stupid. Makes no sense at all. But I don't know. Is what it is, I guess. That's the direction of the gaming industry, I suppose. Next thing I've got is apparently Metroid Prime 4 is out now, so go play it. Shout out to that.
What?
Yeah, Metroid Prime 4, buddy. It's out right now. Go buy it right now and play it. And you'll have a great time with it. No, so like this, I saw this and I saw the pictures of it and everything. And it's like, dude, seeing this tells me and everyone else without a doubt that was supposed to be a launch title, and Nintendo changed their mind at the last minute. So this actually originated from Andy Robinson with VGC.
Okay.
He arrived at whatever airport in the UK, and in the tunnels that you walk through with ads, he took a picture. There is a Prime 4 banner that says "Out Now" on it. So that banner got put up without everyone doing the checks and balances and changing up that coming soon or whatever. So that tells me this was supposed to be a launch title, and Nintendo changed their mind at the last minute, or it needed more work.
Yeah, they were supposed to update that to say Prime 4 2026.
Stop. It's gonna be this year.
I don't know. John's predictor's still looking good.
Yeah, no, honestly, right now it might be 2026.
You're running out of time.
We're running out of time for a date. The fact we haven't got a date is concerning. But no, the fact there is a Nintendo approved banner in an airport where they always have different ads for stuff, right? That says "Out Now," that slipped through the cracks. That was something that was supposed to be promotional art. The game was obviously probably supposed to be a launch title, and it slipped through the cracks. It didn't get updated. So it just makes me question what happened. Is they just not want to launch it alongside Mario Kart World? Do they, does it need more time to cook? What's the problem? So I don't know. That was interesting. We do have a new Cyberpunk 2077 patch coming out, even though the game was supposed to be done. We got the official confirmation and the launch for June 26th, patch 2.3. Just new content, quality of life stuff, fun stuff. Retro Studios is the one that did it. Shout out to that. Oh boy, boys, here's Witcher again. Let's watch what we say. Witcher 4 being built with a console-first mindset. CD Projekt Red did note, though, that Xbox Series S 60 FPS will be extremely challenging to achieve. which I don't doubt it. No, so they basically going with this route. They just don't want to make the same mistake they made with Cyberpunk, where it was PC built and worked backwards. They're starting at console and working up, so that's good. But yeah, no, I'd imagine getting 60 FPS on the Xbox Series X for this game is probably gonna be pretty tough.
That'll be rough.
Yeah, no, Godspeed on that one. Godspeed.
I would not be surprised if Witcher 4 gets a delayed release very specifically for the Series S.
Yeah, I know, kind of like the Black Myth Wukong thing.
Yeah.
It took forever to finally come out to Xbox. Finally getting that in August.
It's like almost a year to the day.
It's a year to the day. So people are still thinking there was some sort of under the table agreement, but no one will ever admit to it. But the fact that it is year to the day, like, it is weird. But I'm gonna take them at face value and just say that it was development problems.
Well, yeah. It also could have been that like they realized that they kind of had it close, or they were gonna have it close when it got closer to the date, and they went, oh, that'd be a cool thing to do.
Right. Hey, College Football 26 got a gameplay deep dive trailer. Didn't do much deep dive in my opinion. It was a 4-minute trailer of just stuff I feel like we've already seen.
That's not much of a deep dive.
No.
I mean, it's a college football game. How much of a deep dive can you do?
So me and Tyler were messaging as this thing went up live, and I'm just like, if all this is gameplay, I genuinely don't give a shit. Because it's like, College Football 25 was fun. Gameplay was great. You know, I can expect this. I don't give a shit. I want to know new features of Dynasty. But hey, we're getting the Dynasty one on Tuesday. So I'll talk about that next week. I'll touch on that. I'm excited for that.
Another 4-minute trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it will, but at least show me some new features. It's all I want. I just want to know new features of Dynasty. It's all I want to know. I mean, it's college football. I don't expect it to be, you know, a groundbreaking game. I just want to know what new features are added, you know?
You get to create your own mascot.
That'd be pretty cool. But, I mean, they added, you know, we've already seen they added coaches and stuff and a lot more plays. I mean, cool. I mean, this was a boring-ass trailer. I mean, we're like 25 days away from the game launching, and there's like almost no hype for it. Like, me and Tyler both agree there's like almost no hype for it.
I mean, everyone got it last year.
The hype was last year. The hype was last year because it's been gone for over a decade. Now it's just like, oh, well, here it is again. Okay.
Now it joins the sports retinue.
It does, yeah. Next up, lots of Halo Infinite top Forge creators apparently leaving the game due to a lack of support from Halo Studios. I can see that. Further making me think that could it be that possibility that if this Combat Evolved remake is real and happens, could it be planned that this could replace Halo Infinite? Just a possibility. Take it back to the roots. Have a good time. Let's see. Apparently, Liza P has sold over 3 million copies. Big shout out to that. Just got its expansion here recently. Then we got a first Berserker Kazan update, John, with female Kazan. So there you go. Got a new update coming soon. Shout out. There is a Capcom Spotlight set for June 26th. It will be featuring Resident Evil 9, Pragmata, and more. So tune into that. I'll have that in the weekly wrap up next week. Fantasy Life its free DLC update that it's going to have is apparently going to be a roguelike open world, a new zone that you can go over that's going to be a roguelike. So cool. Shout out to that. I know Christina's still having a great time with Fantasy Life. The rumored God of War Greece-based Metroidvania game has apparently been delayed to 2026, and this little news bit was new. This was not part of the original rumor cycle. Apparently, you're playing as Kratos' brother.
Sean Kratos has a brother?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah.
When was that ever noted?
PSP.
Okay. Which one?
I think it was Chains.
Okay. Yeah, Chains.
Okay.
Yeah, no, apparently you'll be playing as him in this game. Because like all the rumor stuff was like, oh, you know, Metroidvania, smaller scale title in Greece before Kratos became a god, whatever, blah, blah. And that's what it was. I was like, okay, you're playing as Kratos before he became a god. No, apparently you're playing as his brother. Okay. Cool. I mean, that's a new piece of info. I mean, shout out.
I was like, has there ever been a reference to him besides Chains?
Maybe in 2018 or Ragnarok, maybe.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think
I know you obviously talked about his kid in Ragnarok.
Yeah, no, I think it was only. I think that was the only time.
Okay, in Chains. Gotcha. Return to Silent Hill, which is the film adaptation of Silent Hill 2, is going to release on January 23rd, 2026. I missed this. I didn't know this was happening. So the fact that it's less than a year away from release, like, cool. I had no idea this was even being developed.
Did we get a newer Silent Hill film?
Did we?
That's what I'm trying to think.
Yeah, 2026.
Fuck off.
Well, I feel like this is going to be just one of those weird things. I mean, Return to Silent Hill. Hill. It's an adaptation of Silent Hill 2, which I mean, you don't need to know anything about Silent Hill, but it's still going to be slightly weird.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's the same reason why they remade Silent Hill 2. It's like you got to do it based off the more popular one.
I mean, that's fair. And I mean, it's the fan base will go and watch the film, or at least watch it when it leaves theaters.
Yeah.
All I can hope is in the film, will we have our actor playing our MC constantly looking at the photo to get the true ending? I don't know if they fixed that in the Silent Hill 2 remake,
I don't know.
but that's still one of the weirder things of Silent Hill 2. To get the true ending, you have to like constantly look at his photo of his wife. Because if you go so long without looking at the photo, you immediately fail out of the true ending and can no longer get it in that run.
Really?
Yep.
I love little stuff like that, dude. Because it's kind of like somewhat similar to the secret ending of Cyberpunk and how you get it.
Yeah.
Where, like, when it comes to decision time with you and Johnny,
You got to say that one line like hours ago.
yeah, like, you just don't do anything. Right? You just sit there. You put the controllers down. You just sit there. The game's just, it's just there. And then Johnny will end up talking after like 5 minutes. You know, there's another option.
But to even get that, you have to, at a dialogue back in the junkyard, literally hours beforehand in the game, you have to say a specific line to Johnny. And if you
yeah,
don't,
it's basically where you kind of become friends with Johnny.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you have to say certain dialogue to him about, like, you know, how he'll be remembered and what he is and blah blah blah. You have to say certain lines.
and if you screw
Yeah.
that up, guess what? Johnny's never going to offer the third way.
Also, I love that for that secret ending, even with all the updates and fix they made, they didn't take out the T-pose. Love that to death. Love that to death. That is because I just did the secret ending for my last playthrough, and I'm like, where's that T-posing motherfucker? And I'm running through there, and there's Johnny, just T-posing glitched right there. I'm like, thank God that's still in the game. That's 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah, that's the secret part.
Yeah, that is the secret part. Is him glitched and T-posed. So I'm glad it's just a part of the game now. So next up is a Roblox game called Grow a Garden, peaked at 16 million plus players at one time, breaking Fortnite's previous record of 14 million plus. Yo, dude, some of the numbers that's on these Roblox games are crazy.
Roblox is insane, bro.
Dude, insane. Like, the numbers are unbelievable.
It's literally a game for the whole family.
Shit, yeah, it is. Like, I've seen, you know, because Queso does a lot of Roblox stuff, and like he'll go, like, I've seen like clips or whatever where, you know, he'll go check out this. Like, he's like, there's no way there's 7 million people playing this random game right now. Oh yeah, there is. Let's see. Last thing I had is Nexus Mods is being sold after 24 years. Apparently, the creator of it is just burnt out and wants to move on.
So who's buying it?
I don't think. Did it have a buyer to say he's selling it?
Thought it said who was looking at buying it.
Okay.
I don't remember who it was.
I don't know. Do not know, but it's being sold. So, you guys got any other news you guys want to shout out? Anything?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, because I can't think of anything.
All right. It's time for Gamesthetic Game of the Week. All right, boys, listen. I need you to just indulge me for one moment, okay? This is one of those games that we all have where it's on the chamber, that is going to come out eventually. So I just need you guys to just put your heads down in disappointment and let me ramble for like a minute, because this is going to be the fastest Gamesthetic Game of the Week we've ever had. Because
Is it Hello Kitty Island Dream?
no, that would be like a 20-minute conversation. All right, so no.
Have you actually played that?
No, but Christina has been bugging the crap out of me. She wants it so bad on the Switch. I need to buy it for her since they have the physical release. But no, for Gamestead Game of the Week, this is going to be the fastest Gamestead Game of the Week we've ever done,
Is it Mass Effect?
because it's one that does not need to be talked about in great detail for a long list of reasons. So here on this upcoming Monday, or by the time this clip is up, this past Monday, there's a very special video game birthday. It also happens to be my birthday. So I'm going to shout out one of my biggest guilty pleasure games out there, which is also one of the worst video games ever created, and that is Sonic 06. So not a lot needs to be said about this game. This game is a dumpster fire, but it's my guilty pleasure. I genuinely really enjoy this game, even though it is a dumpster fire. Here are a few things. One, you should play this game just to see how bad it is. It is one of those games. It's not unplayable, but it's bad. You should play it just to see how bad it is. It has its own fun to it because of how bad it is. Two, Shadow and Silver's story is honestly really good. I will stand on that. This is one of the best Shadow depictions in the Sonic gaming world. And Silver, his original canon introduction that got retconned because this game is so bad, his story, the way they intertwine, is a lot of fun. Sonic's story is a dumpster fire. Up front, Princess Elise is my most hated video game character ever created, in the sense of you shouldn't exist.
This is the one where he falls in love with a human, right?
Yes, that's
Okay.
Princess Elise. My most hated video game character ever, in terms of a character that shouldn't exist, right? Like, you know, my most hated game character ever that's just a great character is Micah Bell, but he's a great character. Elise should not exist. That is Sonic story is a dumpster fire. But look, Shadow and Silver's is a lot of fun. Play it for just them alone. Their story is great. The performance by Jason Griffith for Shadow is incredible. And 3, the music in this game is honestly really good. The level design, even though the gameplay is wonky, you'll fly off the cliff at times, the levels are actually really cool. And it's further shown in like PO6, right, where the game's fixed. But don't just go jump to PO6. You got to play Sonic 06. You got to play the OG and see how bad this game is for yourself.
Like PO6 got finished?
Yeah, he's done. He's done because he's not doing any story stuff. He just did level stuff and he's done. Yeah, he openly said he's not doing open world. He's not touching story stuff. It's just play the levels.
Okay.
So play the original 06 because you do need to see how bad it is just for your own. It's not one of those unplayables, but it is bad enough. Like, oh yeah, I'm just curious. I'm curious how bad this is. But yeah, Sonic 06 Game Set Game of the Week. It's been on my docket for a while just because it is my guilty pleasure. And like I said, Sonic's birthday is on Monday, and it happens also to be my birthday. So I wanted to shout the guilty pleasure game. So Game Set Game of the Week, one of the worst video games ever created, Sonic 06, the game that set Sonic back almost a decade.
That's debatable, saying it's the worst game ever created.
One of. Yeah, it's one of the worst games ever created. Almost killed Sonic as a property. Sonic was damaged for about a decade because of this damn game, but it's still my guilty pleasure. So, all right. So
I was gonna mention I did remember one thing. Did you guys see that Expedition got knocked off the throne of the highest rated game of the year?
I did see that.
Yes, I did. By Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
Fucking stupid.
Absolutely
That
wild.
shit makes me so mad.
You think it's going to be in contender for Game of the Year?
Oh, brother, if it was, I'd be pissed. And I love Tears of the Kingdom, but damn, I'd be pissed if they did that shit. It's like, it didn't stand a chance against Baldur's Gate, so now it gets another chance. Fuck you. This is Expedition's year. This is Expedition's year. Oh, no, I saw that. I got so mad. I knew it was going to get rated. Like, when I did my Metacritic prediction video, I rated Breath of the Wild. I rated Tears of the Kingdom. It's like, they're going to get rated. You know, ports get rated all the time, so I knew it would. But, like, God, it just makes me mad.
Yeah.
It makes me so mad. Expedition is still the best new game this year. By far. All right, let's hit the music. Let's get out of here.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. It was coming about something we can talk about during those 2 weeks Alex is gone. Maybe we'll remember.
All right, do everything he said. And if you like what you saw with us here, we do these live streams usually every Saturday about 6 p.m. Central Time. So you can come check us out then.
We will remember because I'll make notes. I will make notes and I will reference back to it. But also make sure to check out the Patreon if you want to support us further. We'd appreciate extra support, as well as checking out some Agent Inc. and Rogue Energy, as well as SparkTheShop.com. Join the Discord, be a friend, tell a friend. We'll be back next week with something. I feel like there was something for next week we were going to talk about.
Yeah, Persona Phantom X.
That's what it was. Thank you. Yeah,
Have fun next week, John.
Yeah, Persona 5 Phantom X coming out. We're going to be talking about that next week.
I'm going to get a gotcha episode. Yay!
John's done. John's like, oh no. Oh God. John's just like, oh, Night of Champions is next week, so I may pass on that one.
I may be busy next week.
All right, have a good one. Bye.